Be Me, 29. Thanksgiving at my parents' house, and I'm already in a mood. My younger brother Blake has been hyping up his new girlfriend Rebecca for weeks. She's amazing. You'll love her. She's so driven. Yeah. I figured he was overselling. Then she walks in. I immediately hate her. Not because she's rude or anything. She's actually annoyingly nice. She's just perfect. Within 10 minutes, I learn she's a corporate lawyer. She just ran a half marathon last weekend, said casually while helping set the table. And she brought homemade pumpkin pie that actually tastes incredible. My mom is fawning. My dad keeps saying, "Blake, you did good." Everyone's acting like Rebecca's the second coming. 3 glasses of wine in, my Aunt Carol leans across the table and says, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Rebecca, you're so accomplished. Blake, better lock this down before someone steals you. Unlike some people still figuring things out at 29 inches. The table goes silent. I feel everyone's eyes on me. My face gets hot. Excuse me? Aunt Carol backpedals. Oh, I just meant, you're so independent, taking your time. No, I know what you meant. I put my fork down. I'm not figuring things out. I have standards. I know what I deserve. My mom tries to change the subject, but I'm rolling now. I'm not settling. 6 figures minimum, over 6 feet, in shape, emotionally available, ambitious. I'm not wasting my time on guys who can't match my energy. I look directly at Aunt Carol. I'd rather be alone than with someone mediocre. Blake shifts uncomfortably. Rebecca's suddenly very interested in her mashed potatoes. Women are told to lower their standards constantly, I continue. Not me. I know my worth. My mom? Natalie, maybe we should... I'm just being honest. Men need to step up. That's when the front door opens. Blake's friend Peter walks in, apologizing for being late. He was helping Blake's roommate move. He's tall, like definitely over 6 feet. Fit. Dark hair, strong jawline. He's in a button-down with the sleeves rolled up. Sorry, he says, very polite. Hope I didn't miss everything. Blake introduces him. This is Peter. We did pre-med together. He's an ER doc now. ER doctor. I perk up immediately. Peter catches the tail end of my speech as he's getting settled. Makes brief eye contact with me during the in-shape part. Doesn't react, just gives a small, unreadable smile. I decide right then. I need to talk to him. Later, during cleanup, I engineer a moment alone in the kitchen. He's rinsing dishes. Sorry about my rant earlier, I say, going for self-deprecating. Family gatherings bring out my soapbox. He laughs. No, I get it. It's good to know what you want. We talk for maybe 15 minutes. He asks about my work. I'm a graphic designer, freelance, which sounds way more impressive than it is. He asks thoughtful questions, laughs at my jokes, but there's something in the way he looks at me. Not flirty exactly, more assessing. I convince myself he's interested. Peter texts me 3 days later. Coffee sometime? I screenshot it immediately and send it to my group chat. Told you I'd find someone who meets my standards. Sarah. OMG, yes. Jess. Doctor, you won the lottery. We meet at a nice coffee shop downtown. He's early, dressed well, jeans and a Henley that fits really well. I'm trying not to stare. The conversation flows easily at first. He asks about my design work. I talk up my clients, mostly corporate branding, some tech startups, which is technically true if you count a local dentist's logo as corporate and my friend's podcast as a startup. Then, what's your typical work week look like? I'm vague. Oh, flexible schedule. That's the beauty of freelance. Translation, I work maybe 15 to 20 billable hours a week. The rest is Netflix and doom scrolling. He nods thoughtfully. That's great. Work-life balance is important. Do you reinvest much back into the business? New software, courses, marketing? The question catches me off guard. I mean, I'm comfortable where I am. Not everyone needs to be hustling 24/7. Totally fair, he says, but something flickers across his face. Second date is dinner at a nicer Italian place. He insists on paying, which I let him do, while mentally noting it's a good sign. Halfway through the meal, he mentions he runs every morning before his shifts. Helps me decompress. What do you do for stress relief? Oh, I walk sometimes. Yoga at home. This is a lie. I did a YouTube yoga video twice last year. That's awesome. Are you training for anything or just general fitness? I laugh nervously. Just staying healthy, you know. He's quiet for a beat, then changes the subject, orders tiramisu to share. Later, as we're finishing, what are your big goals? Like, next year or two? I scramble. Definitely want to grow the business. Maybe travel more. I've been wanting to go to Italy. I haven't traveled since 2019. That's great. Have you started saving for it? I blink. What? The travel and business growth. Just curious how you're planning for it financially. Who asked that on a second date? I mean, I'm figuring it out as I go. He nods. That same calm, unreadable expression. Third date is at his apartment. He offers to cook, which is dangerously attractive. The place is clean, organized. Medical journals on the coffee table. Framed art that wasn't bought at Target. We're on the couch after dinner, watching some documentary he put on. Can I ask you something personal? He says. Sure. At Thanksgiving, you talked about your standards for relationships. What would you say you bring to the table? I freeze. What? Like, you clearly know what you want in a partner. I'm curious what you think makes you a great partner. What's your pitch? I'm not a product, I say, more defensively than I mean to. No, of course not. I just mean, you've thought a lot about what you need. I'm wondering if you've thought about what you offer. I list things quickly. I'm loyal, funny, independent. I care about people. Those are great, he interrupts gently. But like, tangibly, career-wise, lifestyle-wise, goals-wise. My stomach tightens. Why does it need to be tangible? Why do I have to prove something? You don't, he says, backing off. I'm just trying to understand you better. But the vibe is off now. The rest of the date is polite but strained. When I leave, he says, I'll text you, but doesn't mention a fourth date. 4 days pass. No text. I'm spiraling, texting the group chat. Is he ghosting me? We had 3 dates. Sarah. He's probably just busy. He's a doctor. Jess. Men are so flaky. But I can tell they're trying to make me feel better. Blake shows up at my apartment unannounced with Thai food, my favorite. He knows I'm upset. So, he says, sitting down. Peter talked to me. My heart stops. What did he say? Blake looks uncomfortable. He asked me questions about you. What questions? About your work. How stable your income is. If you work out regularly. How you spend money. Your last relationship. I'm furious. He's investigating me? Who does he think he is? Blake sighs. He's vetting you. The same way you vet guys. That's different. How? I sputter. Because I'm allowed to have standards. So is he, Nat. It's not the same thing. Blake sets down his food. Okay, why not? I'm ready for this. Because women have to be more selective. We're the ones who get pregnant, who sacrifice careers. He's not arguing women shouldn't have standards. He's saying he's allowed to have them too. I'm about to respond when Blake drops the bomb. Look, Peter doesn't mess around with this stuff anymore. His ex-fiancée, this was like 2 years ago, she had massive standards. Expensive dates, needed a ring that was at least 3 carats, wanted a guy who made serious money. Peter worked his ass off through med school, residency, finally started making decent money. He proposed. "I'm listening now." She said yes, then immediately started planning an $80,000 wedding. That's when he found out she had $40,000 in credit card debt she'd been hiding. She'd been working part-time for over a year, kept quitting jobs because they were beneath her. When Peter suggested scaling back the wedding and doing financial counseling, she lost it, called him controlling, said he didn't support her dreams, broke off the engagement. Blake looks at me seriously. Now, he doesn't waste time. If someone has high standards for him, he checks whether they meet similar standards themselves. He's not being mean. He's being careful. My voice is small. "What did he say about me?" "He said you seem nice, but he's not sure you're on the same page lifestyle-wise." "I'm building myself," I say defensively. "Rome wasn't built in a day." "Okay, but what are you actively building? Rebecca's studying for the bar right now on top of her full-time job. What's your equivalent?" Silence. Blake hesitates, then continues. "He also asked about your lifestyle, like fitness-wise." My stomach drops. "What do you mean?" "He asked if you work out." I told him the truth, that you haven't had a gym membership in over a year. Blake looks uncomfortable. He mentioned he's really into fitness, runs every day, does triathlons. He's looking for someone who shares that. So I'm not skinny enough for him. My voice comes out sharp. "That's not what I said." "That's what you meant though, right?" He wants some Instagram fitness model? Blake rubs his face. "Nat, you literally said at Thanksgiving that men need to be in shape. You post about it all the time. How dad bods are a deal breaker. But when someone has the same standard for you, it's not the same." "Why?" "Because you're a woman?" I don't answer. "Look," Blake says quietly, "I love you, but you've been saying you're building yourself for like 3 years. Your Instagram is all about knowing your worth and high-value woman stuff. But what are you actually doing?" I don't have an answer. "He told me he's looking for someone who matches his lifestyle," Blake says. "Someone who's as ambitious as he is, as disciplined. He doesn't think that's you." After Blake leaves, I sit alone in my apartment for hours. I think about my days. Wake up around 10, scroll Instagram for an hour, work for maybe 3 hours if I'm motivated, DoorDash lunch. Usually something indulgent. I tell myself I deserve it. Watch TV, convince myself I'll work out tomorrow. I think about the $2,400 I make monthly. My rent is $1,800. I have $8,000 in credit card debt from treating myself over the years. My parents bail me out in emergencies about twice a year. I think about Rebecca, up at 6 a.m. for the gym, studying for the bar, meal prepping on Sundays. I remember seeing her at Thanksgiving in her fitted dress, arms toned, confident posture. Then I think about myself in my stretchy jeans and oversized sweater, strategically chosen. I think about my old posts, the ones where I said men under 6 feet should stop wasting women's time, where I said men who aren't making 6 figures by 30 are losers, where I said I refuse to settle for someone with a dad bod when I keep myself up. But I don't keep myself up. I haven't in years. I just expect men to. The hypocrisy starts to sink in, but I'm not ready to accept it yet. I can't let it go. I text Peter, "Can we talk?" I think there's been a misunderstanding. He agrees to meet, same coffee shop as our first date. I've rehearsed this. I'm ready. Blake told me you've been asking questions about me. I think that's unfair. Peter doesn't look surprised or defensive. I asked your brother about you the same way I'd expect someone to ask their friends about me. I didn't think it was behind your back, but you were judging me. I was getting to know you by interrogating Blake about my finances, my body. He leans back in his chair. You said at Thanksgiving you have standards. I respect that. I have standards too. It's not the same. Why not? Here we go. Because women have to be more careful. We're the ones who... He holds up a hand. I'm not arguing against women having standards. I'm asking why you think I shouldn't have them. I'm thrown off. I didn't say that. He pulls out his phone. Blake sent me some screenshots from your group chat. My stomach drops. He scrolls, reads aloud. Men under 6 feet need to stop wasting our time. Oh God, another one. If he's not making 6 figures by 30, he's a loser. Period. I want to sink into the floor. He keeps going. Why should I have to settle for a dad bod when I keep myself up? I remember typing that one. I was eating ice cream on my couch when I sent it. These are your words, right? He asks calmly. That was context matters. What context makes it better? I have nothing. He continues, and his voice isn't angry. It's worse. It's clinical. You said men should make 6 figures. Based on what Blake told me, you make around $40,000 and you've been at about that level for 3 years. You said men should be in shape. Blake mentioned you don't have a gym membership and haven't worked out regularly in over a year. Every word lands like a punch. You said men should be ambitious with clear goals. When I asked about yours, you didn't really have an answer. I try to recover. I'm in a growth phase. For 3 years? It takes time. Sure, but you're not giving men that same grace. Your posts say if a man isn't established by 30, he's undateable. You're 29, and by your own standards, you're not established. That's different. How? I'm flailing now. Women mature differently. Society puts different pressures. So standards should account for different circumstances and timelines. Yes. Then why don't yours? I'm trapped. Every argument I make, he flips. He leans forward. Look, I think you're a nice person, but I've been with someone who had incredibly high standards for me while holding herself to basically no standard at all. I'm not doing that again. So I'm not good enough for you? My voice cracks. He pauses, chooses his words carefully. You're upset because I'm doing exactly what you do. You screen men constantly. You reject them for height, income, fitness. But when someone evaluates you the same way, suddenly it's unfair. Because I stop. Because I what? Because I deserve special treatment? He fills the silence. I make good money because I worked 80-hour weeks during residency. I stay in shape because I wake up at 5:30 every morning to run before 12-hour shifts. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking if you're working toward the same things you demand from men. I can't speak. Can I ask you something? Genuinely. He looks at me directly. Do you think you deserve someone who makes 6 figures, is over 6 feet, in great shape, and ambitious, when you don't match any of those criteria yourself? I want to scream, yes. I want to say I'm a woman and it's different and he should just accept me. But the word dies in my throat. He sees it, nods slowly. That's what I thought. He stands up, leaves cash on the table for his coffee. I hope you find what you're looking for. I really do. Then he walks out. I sit there frozen, staring at my untouched latte until it gets cold. I cry in my car for 20 minutes before driving home. I text the group chat the whole story, Sarah. OMG, he sounds like such an asshole, Jess. Men are so entitled. Then Megan. I mean, did he lie though? That breaks me. I go back and read our group chat history. My posts are harsh, cruel even. I'd been so confident when I wrote them. Now they make me feel sick. I spend the next week in a fog. Barely work. Refresh Peter's Instagram obsessively, even though he barely posts. A month later, Blake comes over for our parents' weekly dinner. I can't help myself. How's Peter? Blake hesitates. He's seeing someone. The words hit like a truck. Already? Yeah. Met her at the hospital. She's a physical therapist. Apparently she runs marathons. She's going on some medical mission trip to Guatemala next month. Of course she is. Blake pulls out his phone. Rebecca met her last week. She showed me a picture. He shouldn't show me. I shouldn't look. He turns the phone toward me anyway. She's gorgeous. That's the first thing I notice, but it's not just that. She's fit. Like actually fit. The photo is from some charity run. She's in athletic gear, toned arms, flat stomach visible in her running crop top, bright smile. She's holding a medal. Peter's next to her, arm around her shoulders, looking at her like she's the only person in the world. My chest tightens. She does Ironman competitions, Blake adds. Rebecca said she's really nice, down to earth. I can't stop staring at the photo, at her body. The body I told myself doesn't matter. The body I said men shouldn't care about while simultaneously demanding they have abs. She's a physical therapist? I ask quietly. Yeah. Makes good money. Rebecca said she's buying a house next year, so she's fit, successful, accomplished, and pretty. I hand the phone back. Nat, I'm fine, I say quickly. Good for him. But I'm not fine. That night, I do something masochistic. I find her Instagram. It's public. The profile is full of race photos, gym selfies, actual progress photos with visible muscle definition, hiking pictures, beach photos where she looks confident in a bikini, photos of her at the hospital with patients, her and Peter at a 5K together from a week ago. Then I look at my own Instagram, coffee cups, self-care Sunday photos of me in oversized hoodies, reposted memes about knowing your worth and high-value women. One gym selfie from January with the caption, New Year, New Me, that I never followed up on. I scroll to a photo from last summer. I'm at a pool party in a one-piece with a sarong. I remember feeling cute that day. Now I look at it and see what Peter probably saw. Someone who talks about standards but doesn't meet her own. I look at my life objectively for maybe the first time. I make $40,000 but spend like I make $70,000. I haven't genuinely worked on my fitness in years, but won't date men with dad bods. I demand ambition, but I've been coasting. I want a high-value man, but I'm not a high-value woman. At family dinner that Sunday, Aunt Carol asks if I'm seeing anyone. No. Still waiting for the right person. Rebecca trying to be nice. The right person is definitely out there. Have you tried Hinge? I've heard good things. My mom. Well, Natalie has very specific standards. Blake catches my eye across the table. I look away. My dad, oblivious. Nothing wrong with standards. You should know what you want. I excuse myself to the bathroom, stare at myself in the mirror. My reflection stares back. Tired eyes, softer jawline than I want to admit, body hidden under loose clothing. When did I become this person? When I come back, I tell everyone I'm focusing on myself right now. They nod supportively, but I see Blake and Rebecca exchange a look. They know. That night, I start deleting my old posts. Get about halfway through before I stop. What's the point? The damage is done. I tell myself I dodged a bullet. Peter was too judgmental anyway, too rigid. The right person will accept me as I am, but I can't stop thinking about his question. Do you think you deserve someone who meets all your requirements when you don't match any of them yourself? I still don't have an answer. My phone buzzes. Blake posted a photo. Him, Rebecca, Peter, and his new girlfriend at some charity 5K. They're all sweaty and smiling, holding medals. They look happy, accomplished, healthy, like people who have their lives together. I close Instagram. Open Uber Eats instead. Order Thai food, the expensive kind. Add spring rolls and extra pad Thai. I deserve it. It's been a hard week. I'll start the gym tomorrow, maybe update my portfolio, start taking my business seriously. I won't. But it feels better to tell myself I will.